man, what do you think about it? First of all, what do you think about it?
We know, I mean,
And the thing is, it was quick. It seemed like it was like, bam, we made this deal real quick. What do you think about it?
I was trying to count. I was like, has he been gone for 90 days? Is 90
It
days
seemed
up?
like
It doesn't seem like he's been off for 3 months. Somebody will tell us in the chat, I'm sure. But I think that it was the right move for him because he was talking about going to CMLL and doing stuff down in Mexico, which I'm sure he still will do, and he probably will kill down there. He's got a big following in Mexico, obviously. But staying relevant in this game, a large part means being in the big markets for television. And, we don't get CMLL here in the United States on any TV, but we get TNT. And going over to AEW was a logical choice for him. It made sense for him because he's still hot. He's still relevant. He can work better than most people, if you want to be honest about it. And it made sense for AEW because here's another guy with an established name. We can pair him with somebody else. Vicky Guerrero makes sense. There's an established name there, and he could probably be something. I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see in the next 3 to 6 months Andrade competing for that AEW title or the TNT title. He looks the part. He walks the part. And I love him in AEW. I think it makes great sense.
No, man, it definitely is a big pickup for AEW going forward. Having a guy like him on the roster, I've said it many, many times. This guy is extraordinary as far as the work go. The feud, the series of matches that he had with Rey Mysterio. I tell you, he made Rey Mysterio look 20 years younger. And I'm not, trying to age Rey Mysterio or anything like that, but it showed me how good of a worker this guy really, truly is from a perspective that he gets it. He knows exactly what it means to go out there and get someone over and get himself over at the exact same time. So, dang, man, like you say, that 90 days, it seemed like it flew by. And now Andrade's formerly known as is in AEW. I know the internet world is eating that up. As far as Andrade's is there, Mark Henry, he shows up. The Big Show shows up. The question is going to be now, who's next?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was thinking about all the guys who, I don't know if that was a Goldberg illusion or not, but are you saying Goldberg's going to come in? Goldberg would kill everybody in AEW. Think about all the guys who've gone over there over the last several months, right? You just named some of them, Big Show, Paul White, obviously, Mark Henry, Christian Cage was another one who was picked up, Miro, Andrade. We just had several releases, and some of them I could see going over to AEW, whether it be Aleister Black. There's a connection for Braun Strowman to go to AEW with Mark Henry being there. There's something that I think it could make sense if we see Braun Strowman in AEW. There's a lot of names.
Yeah, like you know what? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Braun Strowman. One thing we got to talk about here with Andrade though, something and a word that I haven't heard used in professional wrestling in more than 20 years. Creative control with the way he's used as far as his finishes go. He's involved with the way he gets beat, the way the finish go every time. He also has in his contract that he can work with other companies as well. So Andrade's pretty much has written his own ticket as far as how he's going to be used and looked at going forward in this business. What do you think about that?
Creative. I didn't read that, so that's news to me. So he has creative control in his contract. That's man. He must have.
The deal was actually going pretty smoothly. He said, but that's what took the deal so long to be made was getting that put in his contract. And I'm sure after coming off of his last run, he's thinking about how am I going to be played next, and am I going to have any involvement in decision making as far as how am I going to go out and get beat if I get beat.
Well, shout out to him for negotiating that. Now, I don't know if he did it. I don't know if his future father-in-law, Ric Flair, said, what, this is how it's going to be done. Woo! I don't know who got him that creative control. Whoever it did, man, shout out to them because that's great for him. Now, let me ask you this, though. as somebody who worked around a lot of people back in WCW who had that same creative control clause, do you think that that's beneficial for the show in the locker room, or is that going to cause some dissension amongst some of the boys? Like, wait, Matt, why does he get creative control?
You know,
Because I got love for Andrade, but he's not Hogan. You know what I mean? He's not
no, he
Macho
is,
Man.
but it's a different time now. It's a different time. It's a different era. Andrade's, he is a guy that can go to Mexico and stay there
Sure.
and make enough money to live off for the rest of his life, just working, in Mexico and doing CMLL. I believe that. That's how good this guy is. I'm sure his people definitely make sure he's put in the right position as well. So now. I don't know. I don't know. I think for some of the guys in the locker room, they're going to look at it and say, man, like you say, how did he do this? You know what I mean? And a lot of them going to be saying, man, why didn't I do that? So no, I'm serious. No, I'm serious. And that's why I say, me personally, if I was one of the boys, I couldn't hate. You know what I mean? I would just be like, man, why didn't I think of that? Andrade's, I really believe that this he's Hall of Fame talent. He's future, great in this business. Just by watching, the history of what I've seen as far as his work go. I'm not saying anything else. Just for as what I've seen as far as this kid's work go, he has the potential to go down as one of the great of all time that ever put on a pair of boots. If he does it right. And that right there, getting creative control in AEW, that's the first step because I'm not just going to be putting the angle in AEW. I'm going to be putting the angle, and it's going to be thought about how this angle is going to end for me. First and foremost, at the end of the day, so I can move on to the next angle. I know I'm not going to go out and get jobbed out or anything like that going forward. So for me, I think it's great as far as where Andrade is setting himself up for the future more than anything.
But now that that's established, we call that a precedent. Now there's precedent for everybody else who comes over to ask for the same thing, right? And that was, and I'm not forecasting this. Trust me, I'm not. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen or it should happen or I want it to happen. But that was what happened in WCW. Everyone started having creative control. And then all of a sudden, you have all these like what happened with you at Bash at the Beach? You get a situation like that.
Well, the thing is, only people that got creative control was the guys that came from WWF.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if this recent wave, the Brawns, the Allisters, the Buddy Murphys, or whomever else might come over, if they all say, look, we get creative control, we get creative control, we get creative control, all of a sudden, you have you already got 5 cooks in the kitchen. You got 4 executive vice presidents, and you got Tony Khan. Now you got Andrade, whoever else gets creative control. You have some story issues, potentially.
Buddy Murphy, he's still the Impact guy. You know what I mean? So let's not talk. I'm just playing, guys. It's jokes. No, man, it could create a whole lot of dissension among talent. It really could. It could. Me personally, if I was anyone in Andrade's camp, no one would have known about me having creative control other than myself and the company. So therefore, the business is in a different place. It's in a totally different place than it was back in the day. I don't think we knew Hogan had creative control or Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and those guys had creative. We didn't know that until later on in life. You know what I mean? But those guys didn't come in and go, hey, man, we're not losing because we got creative control. It wasn't like that. It wasn't on the internet that, I got creative control in my angles the way, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? So the business is in a totally different place, just like, we talked about Braun Strowman and, some of the comments I made about Braun Strowman. I've been getting a lot of heat about, the comments I made about Braun. And the thing is, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. as far as the way the landscape of the business has changed for the big guy and the monster elite. If you don't think it's changed, you know, maybe we need to explore a little bit more. Maybe we need to talk about it just a little bit more. And we need to do it inside the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.